Ladies and gentlemen, dreamers and doers, seekers of purpose and fulfillment, welcome to Passion on Purpose, the podcast that sets your soul on fire and ignites the spark within you. I'm your host, Steph Hilfer, and I'm beyond thrilled you're here. Passion on Purpose features leaders, experts, and sometimes me on center stage. We put the spotlight on visionaries, entrepreneurs, leaders, experts, and everyday heroes to share their journey of self-discovery, enthusiasm, and unwavering determination. We'll explore how they use their passion and purpose to fuel their brand. Alongside our leaders, we'll provide practical tips, actionable advice, and wisdom from our experts across various fields. So if you're ready to unleash your inner fire, shake off the doubts and insecurities, and pursue a life of purpose with unbridled enthusiasm, then let's dive in. All right, guys, we are back with another episode of the Passion on Purpose podcast. I'm so excited to have our leader, Natalie Fairchild. She is the, get this, guys, Chief Inspirational Officer of Pacific Perks. She also is a podcast host of the Entrepreneur's Journey Live, which, teaser, I'm going to be on that. So we will make sure that you guys know all about the Entrepreneur's Journey Live podcast soon. But today, the focus is really to just do what we always do and dive deep with Natalie about all things Pacific Perks. How are you doing, Natalie?
I'm good. What is it? Yeah. I was going to say what day it is, but maybe.
I know. Yeah. It's one of those weeks.
Who cares? The sun's out. I'm good.
Good. Well, I'm so excited to have you. I want to start as we always do and just talk to you about your why.
Yeah. So my why and why I got into business and became an entrepreneur is sometimes life happens, and life happened to us. So my husband, Jim, had MS 2 years after we got married. And in the beginning, it was, okay. So if people know about multiple sclerosis, it's lesions on your brain and spine that can affect different parts of your body. So in the beginning, it was fine. And we just kind of went along, and then we had our girls. And then it got to a point where he couldn't be in the corporate world. And I had stepped out of the corporate world to be a mom, but soon found I was an entrepreneur because I was starting little businesses and doing things. And I love being a mom, but I also realized I needed a balance there. So we decided to do something where we could work together and balance each other's lives. And then there would be a nap program in the afternoon. So, if he needed to go take a rest, we built that into our lives. Yeah. So we did that, and it was do or die. So out of a crisis, we took a leap of faith. A lot of people say, "Oh my gosh, you did this, and how, admirable." And it's like, well, it's more admirable if you don't have a crisis and you decide to change your life. But sometimes the silver lining of having a crisis is that you change things and your life changes because of it. And I don't know if Pacific Perks would be around if, MS hadn't entered into our lives. So thank you, MS, for that part of it. So we started up, and that's what we did. We balanced our life, but it's a muscle that you have to exercise for sure. I would say one thing that is very different about us, which was another silver lining, is we weren't two able-bodied people that could go in the business. Mm-hmm. So because of that, we had to pull people in to help us from the get-go. And I used to compare myself to other businesses and be like, gosh, if we were two able bodies, we could be doing double what we're doing, And really, that was such a big lesson, because sometimes, Steph, I would watch companies and they're booming and all these great, exciting things. And then pretty soon they'd be out of business. And I'd be like, oh my gosh. And I'd been comparing myself, but you can't do the rat race forever. It comes around. So again, that was another silver lining for us that we had to get used to and accept. And it's been really one of our secret sauces, because I believe in not knowing everything is okay, but surrounding myself with the right people is the most important thing. And it is given me longevity in the business. It's over 16 years. I can't even believe it. I swear I'm still 35. I swear. So, it's given us longevity. It's given me the ability to be flexible and have a little bit of balance. And as a business owner, you do have flexibility. That's one of those great benefits you have, but you have to take it if you're a business owner, and you have to learn how to do that. And so there was different milestones that I had to kind of reach to get used to different things. And now I feel very balanced, and grateful for it every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. And so this was 16 years ago that you started Pacific Perks, and you found the silver lining in this incredibly challenging prognosis of what the future of your relationship and life looks like.
Yeah.
Why coffee?
Well, it's not because I drink coffee, because I don't. So there's some information for you.
Yes.
But it was because it was the business model, and it was I love to create experiences for people. So I've always been like a little event planner, through college, and even in high school, putting together the proms and the decor and the lighting and the backdrop for the photo. Like, it's always been part of me. So it's more the event industry and making it a great experience for people and easy and simple for the clients that we work with. So that's what I'm most passionate about. Now, Pacific Northwest, coffee is huge. And across the nation, everyone loves their coffee. So that's great. And we also do food, 5 made to order food options. And I always laugh because I don't drink coffee and I'm a horrible cook. However, if you surround yourself with the right people, that, it doesn't matter. And it is about the culture and the experience we create for our clients. So, and there enters Gunny.
Yay, Gunny! If you are not watching this on YouTube and you're listening on podcast, Natalie's adorable tiny little puppy came in. It must not be a puppy, but Gunther just popped in.
It's a 1.5 years old. He's a dachshund. He's a wiener dog.
So he's always going to be a little puppy.
Yeah. Exactly.
How cute. You'll have to make sure, if you're listening on the podcast, you've got to pop in and go see Gunther, because he just rolled in with his cute little toy and he's like, oh, you guys are in the middle of something? That's okay. I'll pop in.
I know. I knew it was going to happen.
So you knew that what was important to you wasn't the product, wasn't the service. It was more creating a lifestyle that sustained you and your husband at the time, and you needed to shape everything around that. So that is, like you said, not a lot of people. You said it. People will say it's admirable that you did that, but taking that risk was kind of just, we had to do this.
We had to do it. Yeah.
Tell me how, because I think that's everyone's dream. I think we're all looking for, who doesn't talk about work-life balance, life-work balance?
Right.
This word balance is something we're all striving for. I can say with confidence, everyone is striving for a little bit more balance in their life.
Yes.
So tell me, how early on did this come to you? How did you protect that? I just want to hear more about balance.
Yeah. So to be honest, when we knew we had to change our life, that was just the first level, right? And then I would say, then when I would go to the office and as things changed, the deal was that I'd be there till 3:30, and then he would come at 3:30. And do you hear the squeaking?
Oh, very minimally. It's
okay.
adorable.
Okay. He would come in at 3:30, and then I'd go home and put my mom hat on, because my girls were like 5 and 6 when we started this. Now they're graduated from college. So that didn't happen because Jim's health went down a little bit more, and that was just too difficult to depend on. And so I had a coach. I look at lots of resources in my life and pull in lots of resources to pivot and change constantly. So she said, what's happening at from 3:30 to 5 that you can't deal with the next day? And I was like, well, if a client calls at 3:30, they probably know they may not get a call back till the morning. There's an emergency line if someone has an urgent need. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to try this little science experiment, as I call them. And I'm going to try leaving at 3:30 and letting go. So awesome choice. But did it take me 6 months before I could go home and not have that voice in my head say, you really should be at the office and not home, and have that anxious feeling? So I always tell people, when you're changing something like that, it's like a muscle you need to exercise. It's not going to feel good in the beginning. Not all things feel good in the beginning. Like if you're a parent and you're disciplining your child, it doesn't feel great, but you have to do it. You have to set those boundaries. So it's the same thing with your balance of life. And sometimes we start something and it doesn't feel good, and then we say we're out. This must not be right. When actually it is exactly where you should be. You're just stretching yourself.
How did you not jump ship? Because I think a lot of people understand it's going to be hard and it takes a little bit of time, but people don't give it the time. They'll say, oh, it's been a week, it's been a month, maybe 2 months, but even 6 months. Some things really do take time. How did you get through that? I mean,
it's falling down from and being absolutely spent and overworked and having to balance everything, and that not finally working, unfortunately, a little mini crisis. It was like, I need this. And so one thing about my personality is when I'm working, I'm very go, 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 pretty darn focused. And then when I'm not, I need that time. I need downtime. And I used to never accept that in myself. I would fight it to the death, because we get a little badge of honor for that go, go, go person, right? From society. We don't get it when we need the downtime. It's changing. It's getting better.
Yes.
But so I just finally have accepted more and more and more over that 16 years that this is my recipe, that I'm a business owner and I don't work 50 hours a week. And sometimes I don't work 40 hours a week. Sometimes I have 8 hours in me, and sometimes I have 5 hours in me. And that's okay. Yeah. So those are some real what?
They're I don't know. I go back and forth on, do I allow my explicits in this podcast, but I'm going to just be me. They're mind fucks. They really are. They're these mind fucks that we have to undo and try different things to get over. And a lot of it is, I hate blaming society because it's such a scapegoat and it doesn't actually help anything, but it's this culture that we've lived in, and the hustle culture was for a long time praised. And now it's this, it's almost, but it's the backhand of like, oh, no hustle, but secretly the people who are preaching that are hustling, right?
100%. 100%. And COVID was a silver lining for a lot of us. Horrible things happened during COVID. But how many times have we said, I just want the world to stop for a week? I know I have. And it did.
Yeah.
And we really got to have a perspective during that time of, what am I doing with my life? Is this something I want to keep doing? That kind of thing. I think as you age as a woman, you're very young, Steph, amazing, but have tons of youth in you. When you get, for women, and for me, especially when I got to my 40s, you have that moment of like, what have I been doing? And this part needs to change. Something needs to change. So I think as you have experiences and age and wisdom, it gets easier to just zone it and define kind of what your recipe is. But I really encourage all young people to really look at that right now and see what a good week looks like for them. Are they filling all their buckets of all the important things that we need in life? And if so, that's what you need to try and recreate to be able to flow through life. Now, life is challenging, you know, life is challenging. And it's important to have the right people around you to help you off the edge when you need it too.
For sure. It's challenging and it's constantly changing. And I think we're constantly seeking for things to not change. But the sooner we realize that that is never going to happen.
No, the only constant is change, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So you share so much about balance and so much about having, people around you and have tapping into, you're even instilling in my audience now and myself now, is like really pushing people to slow down and think about and reflect on what is balance for you, what matters to you, what is driving you. How
Yeah.
do you fuel that through both the team that you have at Pacific Perks, as well as those who hire you for experiences and who are coming into your world as customers?
Yeah. So we've done something for 16 years, and sometimes it has its challenges, and we go, nope, that's not our value. We're not going back. So what we did is our employees who do the events are part-time as needed. We call them perkologists, one who creates an experience in a cup
Love
or
that.
otherwise.
Love
How's
that.
that for branding?
Heck yeah. Heartstrings. Got them.
So they are W-2 employees. So they are not contractors. So does that cost me more money? Yes. But we just feel it's the right thing to do. And then they put their availability into our software. And then we assign them events based on their availability, seniority, and what services they're trained on. So they don't ever have to block themselves out. I'm going on vacation. I'm going to be at my kid's field trip. I'm helping volunteering here. I'm away with my spouse for a weekend or for a week, business trip, whatever. They never have to do that. And some people are up for, working Monday through Friday. Some people are just weekends. Some people are like 2 to 3 events a week, and they get to decide that. So that is a huge thing. And we get these incredible people with loyalty, and they know how to create experiences, and they're happy because they found something where they get to bring in money and they get to do it on their own terms. So I love that piece of it. And then
you eliminate the guilt. I'm sorry to cut you off, but you eliminate the guilt that most W-2 employees and even contractors feel of like needing to be available all the time. You eliminate that by just saying, give me when you're available. We'll work around you.
Yep. And I still work with some people because it's a mind shift. And it's like, no, that's okay. You need to do what you need to do. Now, if we really need people, we'll put a little, hey, is there anybody?
Yeah.
And a lot of times people will step up because they feel so taken care of on the other end. And then for my ops team or administration team, it's been a real shift for them. So Tristan, who is my right hand, is now a father, and that changes life. And so he leaves the office at 3:30 every day. You won't find anybody at our office at 3:30, actually. Other people work part-time, other people, it's flexible. I've had to tell people on my ops team, please turn off your email notifications on your phone and do not look at your emails on the weekend. And some of my team did that because they're used to the rat race and feeling like maybe they're not doing enough and that kind of thing. And I had to really get like firm with it. Like, we don't do this.
Good for you.
For them to do that, because there's absolutely no reason. I'm like, if I need you, I will reach out to you by phone or text, but please do not do that. And so they've had to get used to that. And we've just added kind of an unlimited, take the time you need PTO for our salaried employees. And I've had to make people take vacations. And before, vacation didn't roll over. And the reason is because you need to be taking it. So where are you going? What are you doing? That type of thing. And it's taken a little bit, for them to get used to it and exercise that muscle and know that I'm serious about it.
Yeah. I think listeners right now are probably hearing this and thinking either A, gosh, I wish I had that as an employee, or B, gosh, I wish I could figure out how to do that as a business owner.
Yeah.
And the thing that we have gotten ourselves into in this culture in our world is this instant gratification, now expectation. And what
Yeah.
you're helping people do is kind of recognize, this is something my one of my previous employers taught me, was thinking about the idea that we're not 911. We get really quickly into our head that like,
Yeah.
oh, there could be this 911 email in my email, and but we're not 911. We're not saving lives. Now, does the work we are is the work that we do important, and is there an element of changing lives and impacting lives? I'm
Yeah.
sure,
Yeah.
but we're not 911. So I love here, and I don't know if that's the mentality that you bring to the table with your team, but that's one lesson I've had to have about that. So
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot of envious listeners right now hearing this.
Well, it's a process, and really it comes from me not blaming MS that I am a better if I work 4 days a week. I used to be like, "Oh, I'm helping, my husband and this is our life." When truly, and this is years ago, I needed that.
Mm-hmm.
Illness or not, that's
Yeah.
what I need. That is my recipe. So on Fridays, I do not a lot on Fridays. Sometimes I'm completely out. I've got to have downtime to be able to lead and continue to grow our team and our company and be the best I can be.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm not the best I can be, I'm no good to anyone,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll tell me when I need to check out.
So how would you help someone? How would you guide someone? And this is turning, it's so hard not to tap into you as an expert. Um, I'm trying to like
No,
keep
do
this
it.
on, but I'm perked.
Yeah.
Uh, my spider senses are tingling because I know that there's questions. It's like, well, how do you, when we are feeling as business owners, it's like, well, we need to scale and we need to work harder and more and get more. It's all this more.
Yeah.
And but the
Yeah.
real answer to that achievement is really like slowing down and finding our capacity and honoring that. What would be your best advice for somebody who's wanting to get to where you are but is feeling totally rat raced?
Yeah. You need to have someone in your corner, like a business coach. The best business coaches have their own business coaches, right?
Mhm, mhm,
We all need that. We need that third person to say, okay, this is where I'm at, and keep us accountable in that and help us from the outside. Because sometimes it's so subjective when we're in it.
mhm,
I used to be the person that did all the events first, in the very beginning of the business. And then I got great advice that, okay, you need to be the last. And I'm like, but that's like money right there. And so you have to practice that shift. And I think having someone there to help you navigate that is really helpful and help you see down the line what the advantage is.
mhm,
And then take baby steps. Like take something small, do a little science experiment and take something small just for kicks, for fun, try a little something out. Like
mhm,
maybe you're at the office till 5, but you're not responding to any emails or phone calls from 3:30 on. Maybe that's a good start for you.
mhm,
Maybe it's a good start to turn off your email notifications on your phone. That's a big deal. Start there.
mhm,
Realize the world doesn't end, and
mhm,
then start, you know, n- figuring out what your ideal schedule is. Dream for a moment.
mhm,
What would your ideal schedule? My ideal schedule would be Tuesday through Thursday.
mhm.
Yeah. I'm not there yet, but sometimes I enter in on Monday mornings very slowly.
Yeah.
So try little baby steps and keep someone that believes that this is the right thing for you in your corner to kind of help you navigate that and keep you accountable.
Great advice.
Because we go back to homeostasis. We go back to what we're comfortable with, what we've done before in the past.
True.
And we could talk about that a whole nother podcast with relationships and homeostasis. But so know that that is a normal thing that can come up. So having someone in your corner and just realizing that the world is not going to end.
Yeah.
And set something up in case there is a 911.
Right. Good call on that.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to shift gears a bit because I love the perkologist, and I want to talk more about Pacific Perks briefly. I want to tell me one. I love the name perkologist. I love that, and I love the play on names with both coffee and how experiences can perk you up, and how just really like a good time is just. Like I said, it just perks your spirit. So tell me about what it is today that Pacific Perks is doing. And then what do you see for the future of Pacific Perks?
Yeah. So we are growing. We do all kinds of events. So we keep it simple with a flat rate, which is great. So we're never taking money. So if you see our cart anywhere stuff, you can come up to it knowing it's completely complimentary. Someone's already paid for it. So
awesome.
Yeah, so it's fun. It's fun for us, and it's really fun to come up to it and be like, oh, I'm going to try a dirty chai with a pump of pumpkin spice right now.
Nice.
Yeah. So there's, usually something for everyone. And we do a lot of employee appreciation. We do a lot of marketing events. We work with banks, credit unions that are doing membership appreciation. We do events at apartment complexes. They want to appreciate their residents and that kind of thing. And there's a bunch of different niche markets where we love to work with companies that value their employees and like to have fun as well as work hard. So those are the companies that we love to get connected to. So we're in the Portland metro area, Bend, Willamette Valley, in Oregon. And then we do go up towards your area. But what's next for Pacific Perks is we became a franchise late last year. Kind of a dream. It's kind of a dream we've always wanted to do. But I have to say, related to that balance of life, I pushed it away a lot because I didn't want to become a franchise and create this huge monster where my balance of life was out of whack. So I had to get to the point where I had to realize that I can do this with a team of people. It's not all on me. And so here we are.
Yeah.
So we are working on getting registered in the state of Washington. So I'm super excited because the Tacoma area, Seattle, we do business there already. And they have to pay a trip charge. And, we want to get rid of that and get somebody up there where we can give an opportunity to someone that maybe wants to own their future, balance their life. So when I'm talking to potential franchisees, there has been some that I talk to that run around with their head cut off, involved in a million things. And that's actually not who I'm looking for. I'm looking for someone who wants to work efficient, work hard, and enjoy life in the meantime. So
what a beautiful, beautiful culture that you have created and cultivate and continue to nurture and protect. I think those are key words because just what they're saying right there, you could be the most hustle, hardworking person and you're going to run around like a crazy person and people think, oh, I'd be the perfect franchisee owner. But you're like, I want to protect what we truly built here. Yeah. And that's hard to do.
Yeah, it is. It is. And, but they're out there and people are hungry for it. People are hungry for that. And, you may not be fully there, but I want to help coach and mentor them to get there.
Yes. And I know that for Pacific Perks, we've got some, exciting new things coming as a franchisee or franchising options. And then I think you are also branching out potentially. I think we should keep an eye out for the Natalie Fairchild future in the ways that you're supporting people as well. I don't know if you want to tease anything with that or
well,
that.
I think as a high achiever as you are as well, we tend to stretch ourselves into opportunities and we go, yes, thank you. I want to do that. And then you go, crap, what did I just say yes to?
Yes.
You know, you need to do it. You know, it's going to be awesome. And you know, it's a stretch.
Yep.
So so in September, I was in the NERMA Northern HR Association. They have a conference for 2.5 days, and I was the MC there. So again, a little stretch moment. So I love to speak. I love to speak on topics that I'm passionate about. So I love the name of your podcast.
Thank you.
And I in the future, love to write a book about what I've learned and I'm still continuing to learn. Co-hosting the podcast is basically taking lives real and raw and putting it in the business world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so we're trying to stay as real as raw as we can to help people, because sometimes it's not always glamorous and sometimes it's really, really tough.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited for the growth for both you, for Pacific Perks, and I'm incredibly inspired and in awe of what you've created. I started Vim 5 years ago. I'm 38 now, so 33. So I just look to you and your timeline and where you're at and where you sought out to be. And it's very inspirational. It's very motivating.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I just loved meeting you, and it was an instant like, oh my gosh, this and that. And yeah.
We share the outlook that there's always some sort of intention and purpose for the paths that we cross, even if it seems like it's the oddest time that we're crossing them, as long as we're open to see them, I think.
Right.
Not always looking for them, but open to see them when they happen.
Open to seeing them and have really cool people around us when we're in that spot and we're like, I can't see it. Yeah. And I know my heart's telling me it's there, but my mind is telling me you're up shit creek. Those people that will pull us back and remind us of that.
Yes, we need to keep those people in our world, in our corner. And I love everything that we've talked about today. I want to make sure listeners have a really good sense of they're connected with you. They're hearing amazing things that I know they're aspiring to get to. What would be the best way to connect with you? Or do you have any tools that they could implement if they're business owners? What would be a good way to get into your world?
Yeah. So our website, pacificperkscoffee.com, is great. And under news and blogs, I actually have written a lot of blogs, not as many about coffee, but about life, getting off the hamster wheel, lots of personal development types of aha moments as I go through my journey. So if you like what you've heard today, you may enjoy some of those quick blogs. And then I do have something really fun for people who want to, are either marketing or are in charge of the events at their office or their work. We have the Sweet Perks calendar, which I'll just show you because it's kind of fun.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But it's two-sided. And for every month, it has standard holidays and fun, wacky ones. So reasons to enjoy and have some fun in your life. So that will be on the website under news and blogs, and you guys can download that for free.
Awesome. Well, I will make sure in the show notes we get that link. Maybe I'll because honestly, guys, if you're not watching this on YouTube and you're just listening, that two-sided document that Natalie just showed is jam-packed. There is on each month, there were so many little check boxes. So if you're ever feeling, if you're lacking an inspiration of what can I talk about today, or what's exciting, or what can I use for a purpose and a reason to get my community excited, that single page, plethora of ideas. So I really want to make sure the listeners go and download that.
Yeah. And I love your take on it, because that is it's an inspiration piece.
Mm-hmm.
And it's light and it's fun. And it's just a great tool.
Yes. Well, thank you for having it available to share with the audience. That is the perfect gift. I thank you for that. Yeah. And I really appreciate you coming on and just taking the time to share your journey. And I know we just barely touched the surface of it, but I know there was a lot of value that I personally got, and I'm sure the audience as well.
Well, I'm so glad. It was so fun. And I love to partner with you on anything that we can. And we have some things that we're partnering on. So I'm excited.
Yes, yes. You guys will hear more from Natalie and Steph in partnership for sure in the coming days.
Yeah.
Weeks, months, years. Let's hope for years. Let's
Absolutely.
go for years.
Absolutely. And we might be in Cabo partnering with something. You just never know.
I love that. Let's go with
Yeah.
that too. Years and Cabo.
Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you, Natalie, so
Thank
much.
you.
All right, guys. Until next time. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of the Passion on Purpose podcast. I truly hope you got a lot of value out of this episode. So if you did, please rate, review, and share. If you are interested in being a guest on the show, whether a leader or an expert, please go to getvim.com/podcast and you will find our application page, or reach out to me directly and I can give you more information.